It's fucking undeniable. Wow. Joe Rogan just exposed this.
Rogan says the Bidens are definitely corrupt. The investigation is ongoing, but the investigation's being done by the people that are doing it anyway and haven't found anything so far.
I wonder. Yeah, you know, I think this kind of lends to that whole idea of you know, whoever's in office gets to use the powers of the Department of Justice and Department of Defense to kind of come after whoever they want. You get what I'm saying? Which, like I've always said, it's an interesting little ping pong game because, you know, once the other team gets at bat, then all of a sudden the shit changes. I do think it's kind of weird about the whole, like the whole, everything about Hunter Biden, everything about Joe Biden's son is just fucking it's just out of sorts. It's just out of sorts, and it just doesn't make any sense. And like, talk about privilege. Fuck. Here we go.
Hello there, you 6.5 million Awakening Wonders. Thanks for joining us on our mutual voyage to awakening, truth, and freedom. On board with us, we have Joe Rogan claiming that the Biden family are definitely corrupt, that there's sufficient and significant evidence. The investigation...
I want to see this evidence. I want to see this evidence. Listen, I never really trusted Joe. I just thought it was a better option versus the other guy. I'll be honest with you. I didn't partake in that election.
...is ongoing, but it's being done by the person that did...
I partook in the primaries. When my candidate wasn't up to bat, I said, fuck that shit. I'm not choosing either of these two presidents. Let everybody else decide. It's not gonna be my fault.
That plea deal that seemed a bit dubious anyway. What are they telling him? Could you investigate properly this time? Just investigate harder. Why won't you investigate? Turn on the notification bell and subscribe right now. Let's have a look at Rogan's claims and see if we can work out together whether or not the Biden's business dealings will ever be investigated with the same vigor and forensic tenacity that Trump's business endeavors and indeed other escapades are being investigated.
100%, bro. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. If you're willing to investigate one of your fucking public or political opponents and you're not willing to put your own ass to that flame, oh, you got something to hide. You got something to hide, dog. You hiding something. It's juicy. I know it's juicy. I know it's good. I know the day it gets out, people can be like, oh shit, this white man was worse than everybody else.
Joe Biden's been a goof his whole fucking career. He's always been a goof. He's been caught lying so many times. He's so full of shit.
Do you sometimes think that actually media has changed now and the way that things are investigated has changed now because of channels like Joe Rogan, but the plethora of channels ranging from hardline investigative channels and the fact that investigative career journalists can expose stuff if they want to, and you, me, anyone with a phone can report on stories.
Now, here, what I'm going to add to that is I actually like the age we're in when it comes to media, because all it takes is someone for Joe Rogan to fucking bring someone on their show and talk about a topic, and all of a sudden, poof, everybody's interested in it. And not just that, it's when individuals like that and like even individuals like Russell talk about this kind of shit, all of a sudden everybody else starts talking about it. And then now you have people who are doing their own journalism on it. Bro, YouTube journalism is off the fucking chain, bro. Like think about Vice before Disney bought them. You know what I'm saying? Think about, like, fuck, bro, I watch CoffeeZilla on this bitch. CoffeeZilla is crazy. He comes after these motherfuckers. He's always got receipts for this shit. This dude kills, bro. I think independent journalism is probably, you know, don't get me wrong, it's probably one of the hardest things to break into now. And back in the day, you just need to have the passion and you would have shown up to the place and gotten the job. Now you need to literally create the job for yourself, which is a lot harder. So it's a bigger barrier to entry. But god damn it, these motherfuckers are getting after it, bro. And good. And good to them for it. 100%.
They've been around Congress their whole life, been through all of those institutions. Like, they're gonna be exposed if they've done anything wrong ever. One thing for sure, these kind of institutions and these kind of political figures can't survive in this kind of media environment. It's only a matter of time. That's why this media environment, I believe, is being manipulated, managed and changed so that you simply can't discuss this stuff. The mainstream media, you'll notice, don't talk about Hunter Biden in the same way that independent media like...
No, and it's because they're owned by all these megacorps, bro. If they're not owned by Disney, they're owned by Fox. You get what I'm saying? It's just one corporation or the other that owns all these fucking, you know, distributors of media and fucking news outlets. And what is there to trust anymore, bro? Like, newspapers are going out of business. Like who the fuck are you supposed to listen to?
Like Joe Rogan does, that's because they are still managed in the traditional way. Presumably, if social media sites like Twitter were infiltrated by the FBI and CIA, presumably mainstream media, legacy media organizations have relationships. You saw how they towed the line during COVID. We've got to do what's best for the country. Well, you know what they think's best for the country. Democrat government, Biden as president. That's what they think's best. You don't have to assume these people are evil. You just have to assume they have biases and institutional relationships that don't permit honest and authentic reporting.
Yeah, you fucking nailed it on the head. Also, you could just easily assume that they're out for themselves. Like everybody here, everybody in the system is trying to figure out how they can get the most out of it by doing the least. Period. Like they don't, you know what I'm saying? They don't want to fucking revolutionize anything anymore because that takes too much work. You know what? Instead, let me get everybody else to believe that I'm revolutionary, and then I could do my one or two things that don't make a fucking hiccup as far as the blip of time that, you know, we exist in. And then later on, you know what? They could go ahead and talk shit about me when I'm dead. And I feel like it's a simple coy. It's a simple coy. It's a simple little play that they want to do as fucking presidents. And it's so shitty. It's so shitty because all it does is take away from like the fucking significance of things, bro. Like no longer. Bro, there used to be a time in America where if you badmouthed the president, you'd get a fucking fist thrown at you, bro. And now it's just so fucking commonplace. And you know what? It's not because the people are fucked up. No, it's because these motherfuckers who are running for president are fucked up. They're the ones who are bringing shame to the fucking name, bro. To a certain point where now on a global stage, America is no longer something looked upon like, oh, wow. Now it's just looked at like, oh, here's another set of idiots. And it's fucking ridiculous, bro. You represent us on the fucking world stage and yet you act like a fucking child. Right? You represent us on the world stage and yet you want to slander other people and then not allow yourself to be investigated. Like where's the fucking double standard, dog? That's crazy.
Fortunately, now there are people outside of the space that are willing to say, hold on a minute, this looks like corruption.
There's so much evidence that he's corrupt, just undeniable evidence of corruption. And the stuff with him and his son, and then the guy who just testified that was business partners with Hunter, who talked about all the different things.
Ooh, I want to see that. I want to see the guy who testified. Yes. Hey, listen, bro. Hey, listen, at the end of all this, Hunter Biden needs to go to jail. I'm sorry, Mr. President, but your kid fucked up. And I'm not even going to say it's on you. I mean, it's partially on you because you're his daddy, right? So you obviously didn't do something right. But he fucked up. You do the crime, you do the time.
That Joe was involved with.
Evan Archer.
Yeah. It's fucking undeniable. And the fact that
that's ridiculous.
That mainstream news is ignoring this, except for right-wing media, it's fucking crazy.
Wouldn't you?
Nah, it's not even like they're ignoring it. Is that they're selectively choosing not to report on it. It's not even like oh, what's that? Oh, I can't see it. No, it's like they saw it and they were like, oh fuck. Can we talk about this? We can't talk about this? All right, we won't talk about this then. What can we talk about?
Do you prefer a media that had biases and allegiances with a particular wing of institutional politics, but still reported on matters in an open and transparent way? Then wouldn't you trust them and the party more? If you saw CNN,
100%.
Morning Joe, whatever, saying, listen, this Hunter Biden business stuff, we didn't talk about it enough at the beginning, and it was obviously kept off Twitter. That Daily Post story should never have been repressed about the laptop, but now it looks like there are dubious business dealings that have been ongoing. Wouldn't that make you feel more trust? Things have become so divided, so separatist and sectarian, that it's almost like that aspect of the media consider it to be their duty to display ongoing fealty to an aspect of the administration.
You see, and what it is, you know what it is? It's fear. It's fear. It's fear that they might try this and it doesn't land them all the money and all the support that they're getting right now. And it's fear that you know, and there's always bullshit behind the scenes, right? So it's probably like a fear of like, I don't know, whoever fucking runs CNN, for all you know, they fucking done some like egregious shit in their lifetimes, right? And because of that egregious shit, you know, whoever's the current fucking, you know, head of fucking whatever the fuck at the White House, you know, has their phone number on fucking speed dial, calls them up and is like, hey, listen, we'll give you all the stories, but you just can't talk about us and this and that. And they're either too scared to take a risk, or, you know what I'm saying, they just been beaten to the point of submission, And either way, I don't want my news to come from somebody who's not going to, you know, who isn't pledging to actually giving me the truth. You know what I'm saying? Or not even the truth, because capital T truth is impossible to obtain, right? Or I mean, I guess, you know, metaphysically speaking, but when we come to like just bro, just give me some fucking facts, man. Why can't I watch the news and get facts anymore? Why does everything need to be like, it's literally like here's 30 seconds of something that happened and now let's fucking talk about it for 10 minutes. And it's like, and like all they do is it's news has turned into commentator sport. That's all. You turn on CNN, it's like watching like fucking ESPN. That's all it is, bro. It's ESPN for politics. It's like, you know, but you know what the difference is? On ESPN, they don't fucking pick a team. You get what I'm saying? It's not like every time this team comes up, they're going to start talking shit about the other team and they're going to talk great about this team. No, they talk shit about the team that sucks and they talk great about the team that doesn't. And that's it. There's no sides being chosen there.
That just, I think, continues to diminish trust. Let's have a look at this in more detail. Joe Biden's son, Hunter, will now be investigated by a special counsel with additional powers. The U.S. Attorney General has been announced. What was the first investigation then? Look, investigate Hunter Biden, but don't try very hard. Don't use all of your powers. Just use a little bit of power. Let's see now how professional the mainstream media are, how they're better than us, and see how the representatives of the government speak in a clear and candid way that definitely isn't obfuscating, confusing, hypocritical, and sometimes
yo, this shit's actually making me hot,
just
bro.
Untrue.
This is a CBS News special report. I'm Margaret Brennan in Washington. We are coming to you on the air to bring you an announcement.
Everything about it actually is just grandiosity. This is my name. I'm in Washington, CNN. We are coming to you.
From the Department of Justice. Attorney General Merrick Garland is making a statement.
Ooh, a statement. Ooh, let's pull down our pants. It's a statement. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
And is making some detailed remarks that we will bring you in a moment.
Which is kind of silly because you already like the headline's there, bro. U.S. Attorney General Garland appoints special counsel to oversee Hunter Biden investigation. What am I waiting for? Am I waiting for, like, at this point, you're just waiting for the Q&A section?
Are you just filling now?
What we know is that it has to do with President Biden's son, Hunter Biden. Let's listen in.
Let's listen in. Put a glass up against your TV now. This is good.
Oh, rest in peace, Pee Wee Herman. Rest in peace, dog.
Cup. Then your friend has another paper cup at the end. What is this? It's like children's television.
Good afternoon. I'm here today to announce the appointment of David Weiss as a special counsel.
And now he's doing it. Everything's paraphernalia and empty ceremony. Like, everyone's behaving like what they're doing is really important and significant.
But like the reality is that, like, I mean, with Biden being president at the moment, like what do you really expect is going to come through with this investigation? How much of his finger do you think is not actually on the scale on this? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, he could literally replace these motherfuckers. Does that make sense to anybody? Like, are we seeing this though? Like, it's not really that big of a deal if they are appointing whoever the fuck. Now, you let a fucking Republican get into office, right? Or an independent party get into office, and they'd fucking throw the book. They'd fucking send the full force after them. They do to them what is being done to Trump. And listen, I'm not a Trump supporter, bro. And I'm sure as fuck not a Biden supporter. I think they both suck. Okay? But I think if you're gonna do that to him, like, bro, you should open yourself up to that same kind of exposure.
But I think you guys are ready for the news done by a man in a leopard print dressing gown, right? Let me know in the comments.
I have today notified
I absolutely love that dressing gown.
The designated members of each House of Congress of the appointment.
Push in with the camera. Ooh, it's more important now.
Beginning in 2019, Mr. Weiss, in his capacity as U.S. Attorney, and along with federal law enforcement partners, began investigating allegations of certain criminal conduct by, among others, Robert Hunter Biden.
They've been doing this investigation for 6 years. They've got video evidence of criminal behaviour. They've got a paper trail that leads them to Burisma. They've got Joe Biden letters saying, oh, hope it goes well, Devon, to his business partner. And they actually are only just learning that his name's not even Hunter Biden. We've been working on this 6 years on the Hunter Biden case. This just in. That isn't his name. That's the end of the investigation. Thank you.
Found his spoon, sir.
That investigation
Monty Python
remains ongoing.
I don't need another 6 years. I was looking into someone called Hunter Biden. He's called Robert Biden. All of this was about someone else. He actually owns a laptop company and oh no, that could be him.
This appointment confirms my commitment to provide Mr. Weiss all the resources he requests.
That's cap as fuck. That's cap as fuck, and you know it.
It also reaffirms that Mr. Weiss has the authority he needs to conduct a thorough investigation.
This is a really weird bit of news, isn't it? Like about Mr. Weiss.
Yeah, I think it's kind of weird that like 6 years later this shit's still coming up, and it's like what? Yeah, it's exactly what homie said earlier at the beginning of the video. It's like how are they now just reappointing someone to this shit? How are they now just like reopening this? Like, what happened to the investigation that was already going on? What happened to all the fact finding that went down? And why wasn't any of that actually used to bring charges? Like last time I checked, you can't indict a sitting president. It doesn't say shit about the sitting president's son.
It's like Mr. Weiss, this time we are going to let him have proper powers to investigate. Last time we told him, investigate very, very slowly. Doesn't it make you feel that the machinery of government is about providing the appearance of authenticity and transparency rather than authenticity and transparency itself? And aren't you now learning how to spot the difference? Isn't part of the success of figures like Joe Rogan based on the fact that whether you like him or agree with him, you kind of trust that he's telling you the truth?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think that it's much about like trusting Joe Rogan. I don't even think it's that. It's I think it's more about look at what he's built. Look at who he brings onto the show. He brings people from this side and he brings people from that side. We used to have an act in America, all right, that gave both sides of any fucking conversation equal airtime. It was part of the law. It was part of the law that made it so that, hey, listen, if you're going to talk about this topic, you need people who agree, but then you also need people who disagree. And you need to show both of these, you need to give them equal airtime. They got rid of that. They got rid of that so they can introduce a little something called Fox. Okay? So that now you can fucking polarize people and have them be fed one source of news coming through one form of agenda instead of getting to hear both sides. Well, you know what's fucking crazy? Oh shit, look at Joe Rogan. Look at all his fucking success. Well, fuck, it's not even because of fucking Fear Factor or UFC, bro. He started doing this shit a long time ago, and Joe Rogan's a hell of a fucking comedian, bro. If you've never seen a Joe Rogan stand-up, I invite you to go check one out because they're fucking great. But now, with that, he decided to create a fucking podcast in which he's grabbing people from this side and from that side and bringing them together. And even if it's not on the same stream, or on the same fucking podcast, it'd be on one episode, on the very next episode, he's got the other guy. Or maybe 4 or 5 down the road, he's got the other guy. But the point is that if you watch his fucking podcast, you're going to get perspective. Perspective. And you know what? It's crazy, bro. You don't even need facts to exist, bro. You don't even need facts. You just need perspectives. That's it. That's all we're asking for, bro. That's all we're asking for, that if I don't just show up on this one channel, I'm going to get Republican hate all the time. And if I show up on the other one, I'm going to get Democrat hate all the fucking time. I just want a place where I can have both sides talk about how the fuck they feel and what the fuck they think and why I'm right and you're wrong and why you're wrong and I'm right. You know, I'm just like, why is that so fucking difficult? It's not. It's not. It's just they have agendas. They have agendas. And if you think for a second that any of these news outlets aren't being influenced by the people who are currently in power, you need to pay more attention.
And indeed, political figures like Trump, who plainly says things that are not true sometimes, but so overtly that compared to other political figures that
you don't feel bad
and engage in such sophistry, well, actually, the investigation's being ongoing. Well, at the time, I believed it to be true. Well, that's not actually clear. You know, we're so used to a kind of odd, bureaucratic, boring, tedious, ongoing, linguistically complex set of lies. But when people just are playing with us, we go, oh, God, all right, you then.
And to continue to take the steps he deems appropriate independently, based only on the facts and the law. The men and women undertaking this investigation.
See, I said men and women. Do you see how far we've come?
Who have dedicated their careers to protecting the citizens of this country. The appointment of Mr. Weiss reinforces for the American people the department's commitment
commitment. They can't even say words like commitment because they don't mean anything, don't believe in anything. They're just bureaucrats. Remember at the beginning of the pandemic, this is Anthony Fauci. This guy, as long as you don't look at any of his past, is super reliable and we should trust everything he says, even though he doesn't trust it himself. This is the way that we understand Washington and indeed all centralized government to work now. My belief is that they are not especially corrupt. My belief is they've always been this corrupt, but now the means for investigation and communication is so profligate that they can't maintain power and control in the way that they used to.
100%. It's they have old methods, and those old methods are outdated. And so, and then what do I mean by outdated? Well, kind of like playing off of what Russell said. Yeah, you're talking about situations where, well, now some random fucking YouTuber, you know, in fucking wherever the fuck, right, can go ahead and start looking into this and can start piecing together documents from National Archives. You have motherfuckers who will spend their time diving into this shit head first, trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. And the thing is that, like, when you have dedicated individuals like that, and not just that, I guess is also, you know what I think the greatest motivating factor is the fact that we have been lied to for so long. We have been lied to for so long. So many secrets kept. So much shit that this happens here today, and it isn't until 20 years later that some bullshit resurfaces and all of a sudden we're like finding out the truth about some shit from like 20 fucking years ago. I think that's ridiculous. It's like, for example, it's like, look, Obama wasn't a bad president, but Obama also did some pretty bad shit. And if you don't believe me, I got the fucking book right. You know, hold on. Right here. There used to be a series on Netflix, and I feel like Netflix took it down for whatever XYZ reasons. But Oliver Stone, all right, had a series called The Untold History of the United States. And there's a chapter in this bitch that is all about Obama. All right? Let's see. Eisenhower, JFK. Let me see. Obama, chapter fucking 14. What page is that? 549. It's a thick fucking book, too. It's a thick fucking book. 549. Here we go. We're getting there. All right. We are an attractive empire, the one everyone wants to join, crowed neocon Max Boot in the aftermath of 9/11. But now, after 2 long and disastrous wars, trillions of dollars in military spending, a network of more than 1,000 foreign military bases, torture, and abuse of prisoners on several continents, assault on both international law and the U.S. Constitution, a near economic collapse, drone attacks killing alleged terrorists and civilians alike, disparities between rich and poor unheard of in an advanced industrial country, appallingly low test scores for students, government surveillance on an unprecedented scale, collapsing infrastructure, domestic uprising on both the left and the right, and an international reputation left in tatters, the U.S. empire does not look all that attractive. All right, the country Obama inherited was indeed in shambles, but Obama took a bad situation and in certain ways made it worse. All right, now it's a whole fucking chapter on the homie here, right? But one thing that I do remember is that Obama launched fucking drone strikes. Obama launched fucking drone strikes that not only took out the terrorist guys, the bad guys, but also killed American civilians, Americans who were in the country at the time. No one wants to really talk about it because everybody wants to celebrate our first black president. But what I'm trying to tell you is that this is the kind of shit they always fucking do. They always find a way to fucking make you look one way. You know, look at this hand while I slap you with the fucking other. And that's what they do. That's what they do. I'm glad that we live in a day and age that these old fucking fogies can't fucking keep up. They can't keep up and they can't silence everybody. You want to know why? Because the moment they start silencing too many people, it becomes obvious. If it becomes obvious, well, that's going to breed distrust. Which, by the way, you already got that in fucking plentifulls, right? Like, you could buy that shit out of Costco at this point. All right? And it's fucking ridiculous. Like, where do you draw the line and just say, all right, you know what? Let's try not to fucking deceive everybody. Let's try to fucking share a little bit of truth. Let's fucking at least try to be somewhat transparent. You know what? I think the biggest bullshit that the Biden administration has sold everybody on was at the very beginning when they were talking about being a more transparent government, right? And so they started giving us more and more little droplets of information of things that we didn't really know originally, like what was happening, what would be going on. And then they started just telling us a little bit more and more because they wanted us to feel as if we were involved, as if they were letting us know about what's going on. But it's just bullshit. It's just more deception. It's more look this way while I slap you with the other. That's all it is.
There's, I believe, a global panic about the miracle of modern communication that requires the legitimization of censorship in particular. And what we're watching here is just these old institutions desperately scrabbling to hold on to their authority when all of us can see that the emperor is nude. And it's not very impressive. One thing's for sure, the mainstream media are never going to tell you the truth about Hunter Biden and the Biden family's business dealings. That's why you have to find news sources that you trust. The mainstream media are unreliable little bloody liars. We don't know what...
This is ground news. I think this is the coolest fucking thing out there. I honestly do think this is one of the dopest things out there. It's like... He's going to explain to you.
De-amplified. And how can we ever trust them not to create a narrative based on their own biases? That's where our sponsor, and you know we need these guys, come in. Ground News, an app that combines thousands of articles into one place so readers and indeed independent media sources can get a full picture of what's being reported around the world. And we know it's impossible to trust a single news source, except for us, we're brilliant. So Ground News has been developed to
that shit is so fucking cool.
The media accountable.
It rates every article.
A visual breakdown of the news outlets
Look at
covering it, their political biases, crazy. And how factual their sources. So if you search for Hunter Biden on Ground News, you'll see how it's covered. Look at this. Total news sources, 300. Leaning left, 70. Leaning right, 53. Centre, 122. Bias distribution, 50% centre. Oh, look at that. It even shows their logos. I'm starting to understand the way the system works using this. Yeah, I getcha. If I could just get into the mainframe. I feel like I'm in Mission Impossible here.
And I think the cool thing about that kind of shit is like, I think the cool thing about it is that like over time, you being like exposed... You being exposed to this shit over time. I'm trying to pause you so hard right now, bro. Thank you. I think the good thing about this is like you keep reading these articles and you see how they play out and you can see how the wording is, and then you could see kind of like what they mention on these articles versus how they mention it in other articles. And what I really love about it is that like between their story and their story, like somewhere in the middle lies the truth. You know what I'm saying? And so and I feel that you can actually discover what's really going on simply by educating yourself on what's being said on both sides, because there's going to be some overlap there, but there's going to be a lot of opinion, but there's going to be some overlap. And you know, like they say, the devil's in the details.
And find common ground, baby.
100%.
See the media bias? Why don't you subscribe to Ground News like we do using our link below, ground.news/Russell Brand. And if you sign up before August 22nd, you'll get 30% off unlimited access. Now, let's get back to this Hunter Biden story. Last week, the New York Post reported that President Biden's family and their allies bought in at least $20 million from foreign sources, including first son Hunter Biden's business associates in Russia, Kazakhstan, and Ukraine, some of whom dined with the current commander-in-chief.
What?
So, as you know...
And the allies brought 20, what? Brought in at least from foreign sources, business associates in Russia. Oh shit, Kazakhstan and Ukraine. Okay.
No, nepotism
That's
exists
weird.
in politics. People grant access for money in politics. Joe Biden, of course, like any of us would, helps his children to get on in life. The problem is it's with a bunch of Kazakhstani, Russian and Ukrainian energy firms.
Yeah.
There's this weird war going on at the moment. There's the receipt of extraordinary sums of money. It doesn't look good when the whole of the media is in a frenzy about the apparent corruption of Donald Trump, a possibility that I remain entirely open to, as long as that is investigated with the same veracity and tenacity as all other potential incidences of corruption.
But it won't. It won't. It won't. And why? Because he's currently president. He's currently president. He's going to do everything in his power to make sure this shit doesn't get through. But like I said, just wait for the next guy. That's it. I don't know if the Democratic National Convention has already decided to, I don't know, I guess like seal the deal again like they did last time. You know, like when they essentially said, we're not going to hold fucking debates. We're going with Biden. I don't know if they already fucking made their decision to fucking try to reelect Biden. But trust me, he's not going to win. He's not going to win. It's already been too much bullshit. and he barely won last time. Okay? When I say barely, I mean, like, don't get me wrong, what? It was 4% over or some shit like that? That's what he won by? I don't remember exactly what the score was, but I know it wasn't a sweeping victory. You understand? And most of our elections tend to be pretty fucking close. So, I guarantee you, with all this bullshit that's been going on, Biden won't see a second term.
Democrats who for years accused Trump of corruption and of breaking the law have turned a blind eye to the dishonesty of President Joe Biden, his administration and his family. For years, politicians such as Nancy Pelosi, congressional Democrats and left-wing political pundits all touted in a cultish, well-rehearsed, creepy sort of unison that no one was above the law, not even a president.
That's not true, bro. Apparently it's not true.
Yeah, as time has passed, that affirmation has been anything but true. In
see?
fact, the only time Democrats seem to care about upholding the law is when the person involved has the last name Trump.
Oh my God, like with fucking Pelosi. Like that whole bullshit where she made fucking millions off of a fucking deal, off of a fucking, off of like fucking stocks and shit. Like that's fucking crazy, bro. That's insider trading. That's insider trading. What kind of despicable practice are you running?
The law is a tool and a weapon to ensure that their agenda can be pursued, their objectives met. The law is not an independent entity that is revered and honoured in the same way a god might have been in an earlier incarnation of civilization or pre-civilization. The law is a weapon, and you might argue that gods are similarly weapons to enshrine a set of values and to create in-groups and out-groups into other communities that you have enmity towards. Well, has that much changed? They just use bureaucracy and apparent rationalism to underwrite their own preferences and their own agenda.
Yeah, I mean, in other words, like if the rules don't work for us, then let's change the rules. I think that's what he's trying to say here. Is if the rules don't work, then change them, because you know what, I'm president, and my child, my beautiful baby boy has never done nothing wrong in his life, and so therefore, there is no reason for you to come after him like this. You know what? Not at all. Not because, you know what I'm saying, there might be videos and pictures of him doing coke with hookers and things like that. Just ignore that. Ignore that. Ignore that, because obviously I've been doing such a great fucking job as president that, like, you shouldn't even be looking over there.
At this point, I think it's pretty safe to say that Hunter Biden's businesses benefited from the fact that his surname is Biden and that Joe Biden gave him favourable opportunities and favourable access. To deny that, like, this guy would have done all of these business deals even if his dad had been Ron Brand. That's my dad. It simply wouldn't have happened, although Ron Brand does have assets. When it comes to Biden and his family, there have been a completely different set of standards held compared to former President Donald Trump. Everything surrounding the investigation of Hunter Biden has been suspect since the beginning. Say what you want about Trump's legal issues and multiple indictments, there is a miscarriage of justice here that reeks of corruption. Look,
I just to not get it twisted, this isn't to take away from the fact that Trump has done bad shit. Okay? This is just to say that Trump has done bad shit, and he's already bro, what is he? We counted this the other day. He's got 93 fucking charges against him. 93 fucking charges against him. That's President Trump. Okay? Or, you know, yeah, well, he was president. President Trump. Fucking Biden's? Not one. Not one single thing. And yet you mean to tell me that in the last 6 years that you guys have been using our fucking taxpayer dollars to investigate into Hunter Biden, or I'm sorry, Robert Hunter Biden, that nowhere between here and there has our taxpayers' money, has the money that we pay for this fucking system to operate. You mean to tell me that 6 years of paying for that shit and nothing's come of it? Oh wait, wait. Oh no, my bad. Something has come of it. Oh, okay. And then what? Nothing? Then why? Then what's the point? Then what's the point, bro? Let's just transform ourselves into a fucking oligarchy and just call it what it is, bro. This is land of the rich. That's it. And if you have enough money, you can do whatever the fuck you want. And you know what? If you're going to try to make a point with Trump against what I just said, then you know what, bro? Like I said before, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. If you want to go ahead and fucking put that on him, bro, then open yourself up to the same fucking level of fucking investigating.
Democrats are not applying the same standards to Biden that they did for Trump. That's the fundamental argument. You can't trust people who do not apply the same standards.
My mother taught me this when I was younger. You don't preach what you don't practice. All right? You do not preach what you do not practice. So you're not going to sit there and talk about we got to come after these criminals and we need to stop this. And then all the time, your fucking family's got shady shit going on. It's hypocritical. And I think if there's one thing the American people definitely don't fucking stand for, it's hypocrisy. It's not to say that it doesn't exist. It doesn't fucking freely roam across our land. It's to say that if one thing we don't want in a public figure is to see one thing and then get something else. We don't want that. We don't want that. That's why that's why you have to go through the fucking hoops that you go through to get to that position. Is because we don't want to see bullshit. And you guys pay fucking mighty top dollar to conceal and to erase your bullshit. And that within itself, you guessed it, is bullshit.
Across a whole gamut of moral or judicial issues, because otherwise we're not talking about moral and judicial issues. We're talking about favoritism, political expedience, managing elections, bringing down opponents. All of those things start to become more relevant when you see that they don't apply the same scrutiny across the board of issues, I think. What do you think? In the comments. When Trump was...
What do I think? Below in the comments. Simple. Actually, not so simple. No, actually, it is. What do I think? I think that if you're going to run on being transparent, on being honest, and you know what? No, fuck it. Fuck about being transparent and honest. Fuck about the values that you ran on, the values that got you elected into the things that you said that got you into the position of power you are in now, which is allowing you to circumvent the system to save your son, whatever the fucking case is. It's the fact that, let he who is without sin cast the first stone. That's what it is for me. Let he who's without sin cast the first stone. Or those in green, what is it? Is it those who, something about being in a greenhouse or some shit? What's the saying, bro? We gotta look this shit up. Greenhouse idiom. What the fuck? That's not what I wanted. People who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. People who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. In other words, if you got skeletons in your closet, then why the fuck are you talking about pulling their skeletons out? I mean, unless you're prepared to expose yourself as well. But you know what I'm saying? Like, he was without sin cast the first motherfucking stone. And guess what? All y'all motherfuckers guilty.
Was in office, Democrats were determined to investigate and hold anyone accountable for their illegal acts and corruption. Since Biden has been in office, Democrats' efforts at accountability have been much less vigorous. It's almost as if they create two separate realms of justice. That's not justice at all. Justice has to be evenly applied, or it is no longer justice. It's just a tool of the state. Look no further than last Friday's appointment by the Department of Justice of a special counsel to investigate Hunter Biden. The person assigned to investigate Hunter Biden, David Weiss, is the same person who negotiated the president's son's plea deal earlier this year.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And that's what I was saying, bro. Like think about, he put him in that position. You know what I'm saying? He said, "Oh, listen, bro, you're about to get a fucking payday. You're about to get a payday because you know what? We've decided to let you run this investigation." The guy's looking at him like, "Really, me? You want me to run this investigation?" Like, yeah, we want you to do it. And it's just that little appointment thing. That's all it is, bro. But that's all it is. But you know what? It comes with the paycheck. It comes with the motherfucking paycheck. And you know what? If that paycheck ain't on paper, they're getting paid in paper. You understand what I'm saying?
So the person that gave him the favourable plea deal is doing the investigation. If he gave him a favourable plea deal, what kind of investigation is likely to be conducted? Probably a favourable one, I would imagine, or at least one that takes so bloody long that by the time the results are in, think still we don't know the full facts around JFK. What is this process likely to look like? A thorough, fierce and prompt investigation, or a laborious task that distracts us from the facts? We, all of us, sort of know, don't we, that presidents do favours for their family. That a career politician like Joe Biden's going to have blood in his hands because of the way he's voted in previous wars, because of the way he's supported various globalist corporations, energy companies, big tech, financial industry. We know he's going to have accepted money from them. We know he stood in front of a room full of donors and said nothing's going to change when what they were offering the population after Trump was massive change. So plainly there, that's hypocrisy and lying. And that same intuition tells us that this investigation is theatre, spectacle. Look at what it looked like.
Yeah, you know what? And I think the saddest part of all this is when do we wake up to this shit? Huh? When do we finally say, nah, it's enough, I'm good? Like, the problem is that you have, it's the perfect fucking system, right? Like, they make it so that the majority of us come out of school dumb enough to just land ourselves into debt, and then to have to live with debt for pretty much the rest of our lives. And therefore, you know, you're so worried about paying your bills on time that you got to show up to a job, and then you got to show up to that job, and the job probably isn't something you really want to do. It's something that you might just be okay at, or something that you say, fuck it, my parents convinced me to do this fucking thing, or whatever the fucking case is. And then so eventually what you do is that you create a society where your citizens don't really have the time to watch TV, don't really have the time to go and get educated. You know how many times, bro, and listen, like I graduated college, bro. I graduated with a fucking major in communications, bro. One of my classes was specifically rhetoric. What is rhetoric? It's the way you put your words together and how you express yourself. And if you're trying to get this message across, you know, you want to do this, but then you want a little slight of that, and you want to, you know, it's all about this. It's literally about the arts in language. All right, it's the arts and language arts. You understand what I'm saying? So I literally studied this shit, and I'll still get a fucking ballot in front of me when it comes time to vote. Because shit, when it comes down to my local elections, bro, I'm all there and shit, bro. I'm there 100%. But it's like you start reading the fucking thing and you have no idea what the fuck it's saying. You start reading the thing and then you don't know if you say yes to it, whether or not that means you're going against the thing. Like, it's literally, they write it like that, bro. And they literally get us. They fucking train us. They raise us. They fucking graduate us from these fucking institutions, and we're not prepared to handle this shit. The fucking layman can't fucking understand what you're writing on the goddamn ballot. They don't know what they're voting for half the time. And not even that. How about the fact that when you try to look up any of these fucking candidates, you can't even get a decent fucking history because all of their fucking personal prop-up pages are so fucking Google AdWorded and fucking SEO'd and fucking search engine optimized that you can't even fucking find the shit that's real. All you find is whatever they said, or whatever their publicists have said, or whatever their fucking affiliated news outlets have said about them. So where the fuck, who do you want us to trust, bro? Who do you want us to trust? How do you expect, like, literally, you're creating the system that does not allow individuals to become educated. That you're creating the fucking sheep. It's a fucking farm.
Like on the news, now something important's gonna happen, an important man's gonna, this is...
And that's why they say it like that. That's why they prop it up like that. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, coming up soon is... And they fucking do that shit because it's all theatrics, because we're too fucking stupid to see beyond it. We're too fucking dumb to see through it. So all we see is this person saying, flashing news alert, this is very important. And we're saying like, oh my God, it must be very fucking important. Huh? And it's really fucking not. Sometimes it's not. Or sometimes it is important, but they're not even telling you the whole fucking story. And of course, who are we as motherfuckers who need to work 9 to 5s, who have fucking children to feed, who have fucking houses and mortgages to fucking pay, who have student loans that are haunting us till the day we're fucking dead? How the fuck are we supposed to spend time Googling this shit? You can't even fucking trust Google. It's hopeless. It's hopeless.
CNN, I'm the news, this is gonna be great. And then he comes out, David Weiss is a special counselor. Well, that guy could come and go, look, I know it might look a bit weird, like David Weiss is the person that negotiated the special plea deal that most people now recognize is the fundamental problem, that demonstrates that this hasn't been done thoroughly or properly. So to bring the same person in looks like a horrible misstep. The only way you can get around that issue is by ignoring that issue, because if you address that issue, it tells you all you need to know. We've been schooled to think we don't understand politics properly, we must be idiots. Oh, it's ever so complicated what they're doing over there. They make it sound complicated, and indeed it probably on some degree is complicated.
It is. And I understand, look, I'm not saying that just because the system is designed in a way to make stupid people, that everyone has to end up being stupid. Okay? There are people out there, such as myself, who take the time to look into all these fucking topics, who take the time to fucking read the articles, who take the time to fucking look up the statistics, who take the time to fucking look into the journals and read this shit. Because at the end of the day, bro, I have it fucking tatted on me, nullius in verba, on the word of no man. See for yourself. Go find that shit out. Because listen, if all you do your entire life is listen to hearsay, you'll never know truth. You will never know truth. If your opinion is just somebody else's opinion, bro, then you're just a fucking speaker box. That's all you are. You're a squawk box for these motherfuckers. You get what I'm saying? That's all you are. And at the end of the day, you'll be just as stupid as everybody else.
Because of the degree of hypocrisy, corruption, lying, obfuscation, concealment of facts. It probably has complexity as a result of all those competing factors. But when it comes to how do you run a community? How do you deal with competing ideas? How do you create republics and democracies and manageable systems of government? It clearly isn't like this. What these systems do is they advantage elites and prevent us from seeing how those advantages are undertaken
100%.
and kept in place. That's why they're so fiercely protective of it, and that's why they have to create villains like Trump and place them center stage. So we're all caught up in this garish, vivid lure.
Yeah, and it's just misdirection. It's just more misdirection. It's more like, well, look at this. You guys seen him? He did bad things. You saw he did bad things. So you know what? We're gonna come after him now. So it's like, yeah, all right. Well, if we're only gonna punish the bad things that everyone gets to see, then there's a lot of things that should be going unpunished. Then there's a lot of things that should be going unpunished because there's a lot of things that happen behind closed doors that somehow the fucking U.S. government figures out that it's going on, right? So like, I'm talking about like, fucking drug running shit and like guns and all that other bullshit that you have on the streets. Like all that shit goes and you know what I'm saying? They try to cover it up, but at the end of the day, hey, if they really want them, if the government, listen, bro, if the government really wants your ass, they're going to get your ass. But you know what's crazy? If the people really want information, if the people really want facts, we just get more bullshit. Ain't that about a bitch, huh? Ain't that about a bitch, huh?
Lurid, grotesque spectacle, when in fact what we should be deducing is all government is corrupt. That's why this doesn't feel like a big deal when it comes to the Trump indictments. We know Trump's probably corrupt. He exists in a world of corruption. He tells us that he does corrupt stuff. I take advantage of the very tax loops that she, Clinton, put in place.
He didn't pay any federal income tax. So
that makes
if
me
he's
smart.
paid zero.
This would signify
that makes me smart.
by a massive conflict of interest in any regular, objective, fair and non-corrupt person. Yet this was the duplicitous act de jure by Attorney General Merrick Garland and the Biden administration. If the situation were reversed and Trump was in office and did something like this, Democrats would demand it not stand. And given their history, they would probably
100%.
file articles of impeachment, launch a criminal investigation and bring an indictment. Simply put, this is why much of the country claims Trump's indictment, no matter the legal basis for any of them, are nothing more than political persecution.
And you see, and that's the worst part of it. That's the worst part of it. That because you motherfuckers are playing games, because you motherfuckers play games, and you fucking live with your double standards, that by the time the actual truth comes out, we're so fucking jaded to it, and we're so over the whole situation that we don't even give a fuck anymore. We don't even give a fuck anymore. Like, I can understand why people want Trump back in office. Is because, you know what? He's a criminal, but he's a criminal we know. You get what I'm saying? Like, versus these other guys who act as if they've never done anything wrong in their lives. And like this motherfucker said, literally probably have blood on their hands.
The Biden administration and Democrats have demonstrated they cannot be trusted when it comes to matters of justice. If Trump broke the law, then hold him accountable. If not, leave him alone. But there shouldn't be one set of rules for people named Trump and another set entirely for those named Biden. And based
100%.
on all available evidence, that's exactly how it seems to any objective person paying attention. So there you are. It seems like the reason that there cannot be a thorough investigation of the Biden business affairs is because a thorough investigation would reveal corruption. I think many of us intuit that. Presumably even people that have strong fealty to the Democratic Party on some level recognize that there is corruption within the system, that there is corruption within the Biden family, and what they would probably say is, yeah, but it ain't as bad as the Trumps. What I would say is there shouldn't be corruption of this degree in any of the institutions of government that we, the people, pay for. What I am saying is that this is evidence that when you take the temperature of the system, you find that it is corrupt through and through, that it is overbaked, undercooked, that it's full of salmonella, that this is a disease feast that we're being invited to eat.
And once again, you know, you breed a culture of individuals who say shit like, school isn't for me. You know what I'm saying? You breed a culture of individuals who are willing to accept opinions as facts, you know, because you need them dumb enough to believe you. But you don't realize that in that dumbing the population down so badly, in getting us to question what's real and what isn't so much, you're really hurting the overall system. Like, dude, like, you know, you're only alive for like 80 years. You're only here on this earth for about 80 years. And from that, you're dead. Like, what are you doing? What do you do? Like, don't you recognize that like this entire country as a whole is going to exist way longer than any one of us individually? You know? And even if you said, oh yeah, but my children and my children's children. Yeah, bro. Like, what about them? What about creating a system wherein like they're also like, you know, they also get to reap the benefits? What about what about the system that says, you know what, like, you know, it's okay if you're born rich and it's okay if you're born poor, you can still get access to quality education. Not this bullshit that happens in the school systems where in order to get the school to have a better grade, they'll literally fucking add point values to children and then force teachers to pick and choose into what students they give more attention to, just so that they can fucking pass a test or meet a certain benchmark on a test so that those points can add up and so that the school can have a better looking grade. Like, you wonder why most of these fucking states have A+ school certifications or A+ schools all across the board. Bro, it's because it's a fucking game. It's a fucking game. And you know who suffers at the end of the day? The fucking kids. The kids who then end up growing up and trying to make something of themselves. They're the ones who get handicapped from the very fucking beginning. So it's like when do you think to yourself that, hey, you know what? Maybe I would be doing something good for the world if I wasn't being such a piece of shit. Like, does that thought ever come through? Do you ever think about, you know, the country as a whole? If the entire country is filled with fucking idiots, bro, it's only a matter of time before we fail. It's only going to be a matter of time before we fucking fail. But then at the end of the day, who can you blame for that? You assholes. You assholes who are in charge. You assholes who are in charge and playing games. And not just playing games with your own lives, playing games with the lives of every fucking American in the process. Because, bro, at the end of the day, bro, like, dude, my dad thinks the election was stolen. You understand? My dad thinks that there was something wrong with the fucking machines. And you know what's sad? It's not just him. It's a lot of people. And it's like, bro, like, they won't even follow up the news long enough to see that fucking, the Dominion fucking software people were able to launch a countersuit for fucking defamation. Who gives a fuck though? Who gives a fuck though? Because, you know what I'm saying? They already had their time in the fucking spotlight where they're getting sued for mangling with the equipment or fucking around with shit. That by the time that election's been done and over with, and by the time the court system drags its ass through the process, you're gonna end up at the point where it's like, oh wait, who's Dominion? Wait, what do you mean? Wait, oh, we had a problem with voting machines? Like, no, like people won't give a fuck anymore. And you're corroding the trust, but you're also corroding like the ability to fucking just fucking decipher what is truth and what isn't. This is not going to lead to a good outcome. There is nothing good that can come of this. You understand? All right? You're literally soiling your entire population. And it doesn't matter how dumb you make them. The problem is, it's way too many dumb people. And way too many dumb people is not a way for a country to fucking excel and go above and beyond. It's not. It's just not a way for us to make forward progress if everyone's too stupid to tie their own fucking shoes.
The only way that they can obscure that is through the language of politics, bureaucratic nomenclature that's confusing, obfuscating and distracting. If we spoke plainly to one another about politics, it would sound like this. Both parties are corrupt. Both parties are funded in ways that means that it's impossible for them to do their job. The Biden administration's primary function is to create the perception of difference between them and the Republicans and in particular Trump. Plainly, they want to elevate the Trump issue to a degree that it's the only thing in the political conversation. In part, it would seem because they've got a lot of corruption and hypocrisy to deal with within their own party and their own family. But that's just what I think. Why don't you let me know what you think in the comments below?
Yeah, no, 100%. They are simply shoving one thing that, you know, it's the game of ping pong, right? Because they're the ones in power, they can take a shit on the other team. And that's all it is. That's all it is. But I don't know, man. I feel like it's disgusting. It's disgusting. It's so unpatriotic. Like, it literally goes against the foundations of what this country is built on. Like, it literally tells me that you have no pride in your country. It literally tells me that you don't believe in the system that you pledge to be a part of. Like that, and that to me is the craziest part, because it's almost like in most recent years, it's like our presidents are the most unpresidential thing.
If you enjoyed this video, stick around, watch another one. These are both fantastic. Remember, we make a show every single day. Join us there. Click the notification bell. Go on, click it now and subscribe to our channel. It really helps the algorithm to do what's right and bring our content to you. More important than any of that, though, is that you please, if you can, stay free.
Man, that was fantastic. That was fantastic. That was great. Love that. Let's see what they got to say over here. I want them to investigate all corruption as fully as they investigate Donald Trump. Yeah, me too. I agree with that. And it's nothing like against Trump or against anybody else. It's just like, bro, if you're gonna go after one, bro, how about this? Like, do your fucking job. How about that? How about that? How about that? Let's not even go too crazy with it. Let's not even go too above and beyond with it. How about you do your fucking job? You know what I'm saying? As like a head of intelligence, do your fucking job. You know? As like the source from which, you know, you then take all the bullshit you find, your findings, and you take them somewhere else, and they approve for you to actually go knock on a door and take laptops and take fucking papers. Why not just do your fucking job? Why not just actually go out there, do your fucking job, ask the questions you need to ask, and then report back to us and let us know how it went. That's it. That's all I asked for. I don't want anything else.